The Lost Crafter, written by Jeffrey 1000, Chapter 7, Friendship. Steve jumped from rooftop to rooftop in an attempt to find food. He knew horses are herbivores, therefore ponies probably are too, so he didn't expect to find any meat. He continued to sneak by ponies, doing whatever it takes to stay out of sight. The invisible crafter leaped from a rooftop to another. As he thought about his food options, there were melons and bread, or he could take some food that he had never eaten before. Then again, that's a little risky, because he wouldn't know what food or how to consume it. Grab something that's not food, he could get poisoned. Consume something wrong, he could possibly die. So he'd rather not risk it. There were melon stands and a bakery. There was also an apple stand which he could try and take from. He thought to himself how he could do it. He could fish them or try to sneak up close enough so he could grab them and put it in his inventory. If he tried to fish them, someone may see his rod. If he tried to steal them up front, he could bump into someone or just be seen stealing the fruits. He sighed as he tried to figure out how he would steal the food. Steve was sitting on a rooftop, perching high above the citizens of Ponyville. As he stood up, however, he instantly regretted it, as the roots beneath him started to crack under his weight. "Oh, shh," he tried to say, as he fell into a house. He landed on his back in some sort of attic. He got a quick look around before he heard another cracking sound. The floorboards weren't going to be able to hold him up. Steve looked at the boards. "Don't you do it. Don't you do it," he said under his breath. The floorboards cracked, and Steve fell. He landed on his back again, hoping he was on solid ground. That wouldn't crack. He looked around. He was on solid ground, but the wooden floorboards still creaked. "Well, that hurt," he said aloud. Then he remembered he was in someone's home. As long as they didn't hear him or see him, then he had a chance to escape. He heard someone calling out. "Dinky?" a female voice called out. "Was that you?" "No, Mom." The newly identified Dinky responded to her most likely mother. He heard hoofsteps coming towards the room. "Crap, crap, crap," Steve said under his breath. He looked around the room for a place to hide or escape. There was a bed, but he was probably too big to fit under it. There was also a closet he could hide inside, but that would be too obvious. Lastly, there was a window. However, that led out into the open streets, so he couldn't go out of that. Then he remembered he was invisible. The only problem was the potion gave off a shimmer, so he could still be spotted if someone tried really hard to look for him. Unless he went somewhere dark, like the closet. He quickly got up and ran into the closet, slowly shutting the door behind him. He quieted his breath to make sure she couldn't hear him. "Hello?" she asked as she entered the room. "Is any pony in here?" The mare walked over to the bed. She peeked under it to check if anyone was there. When she realized no one was there, she turned to the closet. Steve held his breath. She looked into the closet right through Steve. "Nothing," she said to herself. The mare turned to leave. Right as she left the room, Steve's invisibility ran out. He let out a loud sigh of relief. Perfect timing. The sigh may have been a little too loud. She turned around and headed back to the closet. She looked right at Steve and collapsed back in fear. Steve got a good look at the mare. She had a grey coat with a blonde mane. This was the mare known as Derpy, due to her derpy-looking eyes. You're him?" she stammered. "Shh," Steve hushed. "It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you. He was cut off by a scream by the mare. She turned around and slammed into the wall. Steve sighed and face-palmed as he walked over to her. "It's okay, I won't hurt you," he repeated. You won't?" she asked. "Yes, the only reason the guards are hunting me is due to a false accusation. However, I can't sort it out when we're fighting," Steve explained. "I was put into this world by some sort of unknown power, and I have no idea how to get out. I never wanted to fight. I never wanted to be an outcast. I never wanted any of this. Now, I hope you can accept me so I could try and figure out a way home." Steve looked at the mare. He hadn't seen her reaction as he held his head low. Her face wore a sympathetic expression as she looked into his eyes. "What happened?" she asked. What happened? Why are you cast out of society?" she clarified. "Well, that's a long story," he said. "It went a little something like this." 15 minutes later. "And that's when I fell into your house," Steve told her, "which, by the way, I am very sorry about, Miss Derpy." "Please, just call me Derpy. I never liked formalities," she told him. "Good, I never liked them either," Steve told her. "Mom!" Steve heard a voice cry out. "Who are you talking to?" "Oh, that's my daughter, Dinky," Derpy explained. "I should introduce you to." "All right, then." Steve got up from the table and followed Derpy into the bedroom. "Dinky," Derpy started, "this is Steve." The filly wore an uneasy look on her face. "He's not a pony, but he is still very kind. Steve, this is my daughter, Dinky." "Hello, Dinky," Steve said. "Mommy," Dinky said, "is this your new stallion friend?" Derpy blushed. "What?" Derpy asked. "Dinky, that's ridiculous. I just met him." She turned to Steve. "Sorry about that. She lost her father not too long ago, and she misses him so much." Steve's mouth formed an O shape. "Okay," Steve said. "Sorry to hear about that." There was a short pause. "Anyways, I should probably head out. I'll see you both later. Goodbye." "Bye," Dinky said. "Wait," Derpy said, causing the crafter to turn around. "Here." She handed him something. "Have a muffin. You don't seem as bad as everyone says. I hope one day everyone will realize how nice you are." "Thanks," said Steve. "Goodbye," he said as he left Dinky's room. He went back to the room he fell into. From there he climbed into the attic. Once he was inside the attic, he drank an invisibility potion before climbing onto the roof. "Now, time to get some food," he said. Derpy watched as Steve left her and her daughter. "I think you like him," Dinky said, causing her to blush again. Derpy laughed. "I'm not joking, Mom," Dinky said. "He seems like a nice guy. I think you might be seeing love at first sight." "Dinky, I know you miss your father, too. But you can't rush love or else you'll mess up." "I know, Mom, but I really miss Dad," Dinky said, lowering her head. "Maybe someday," Derpy said. "Maybe someday." Alright, I hope you all enjoyed that chapter. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a chapter to this story. I'll try and get more chapters out. I can't promise anything, but, yeah. Anyways, so I'm hoping to get the next chapter out sometime this week, or maybe this weekend, or who knows, maybe I'll have the other chapter out by today. It depends on how I feel, though. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you next time. Goodbye, and good luck.